What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing a triple shiny Scyther evolution theme team with Kleavor in the lead, purified Scyther as the safe swap, and shadow Scizor as the closer. Now I spent over 700,000 Stardust building these three Pokemon from scratch, which was definitely a questionable investment, so if you do appreciate the efforts I go to continuously bring new crazy theme teams to the channel, then please leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't done so already, as it does really help me out. With that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. Which single typing needs the biggest buff in order to compete in the Open Ultra League next season? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead Kleavor into Giratina. So I've got two better matchups, both running Night Slash in the back. So I swap into my purified Scyther. The opponent's going to stay in. They don't go for an Ancient Power, so I can let that go through. Ancient Power, of course, would be double super effective, so I would definitely have to shield that. But Dragon Claw is okay. I land a Night Slash. I get the boost nice and early. That's really good to see. And now I'm going to shield up the Dragon Claw. The opponent swaps into Togekiss. I commit to the return. I get there. We are boosted, and this return one-shots the Togekiss from full health. We regain switch advantage, and now I can come in with my shiny Scizor into this Giratina. Shiny Shadow Scizor, by the way. We go for a Night Slash, grabbing a shield from the opponent, winning this CMP tie. I'm going to let the first charge move go through. It's just a Dragon Claw, so they bait me there, or they're not even running a second charge move. I've got no idea, but I'm going to shield this up. It is another Dragon Claw. I'm going to overfarm just a bit in this matchup, go for a Night Slash here, hoping they let this go through, and they do let it go through, and they've got a Venusaur in the back. So what I'm going to do is bank an Iron Head, swap into my Kleavor, and I'm thinking that a Frenzy Plant shouldn't take us out here. I should be able to make it to a Rock Slide up against the Venusaur, and I win CMP in the process. I need them to shield this move up, and they do shield, and it is a CMP tie, which is absolutely perfect. Frenzy Plant takes me out, and now I'm not 100% sure if the Iron Head would take them out, so instead I'm going to go for back-to-back Night Slashes. First one does big damage, the second one will be enough damage to take out the Venusaur, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next battle, we see a Pidgeot in the lead. Now, this is a really annoying matchup in the lead here. I'm going to bait with an Scizor because I'm assuming they're probably going to shield the first charge move, and they do, so that is good for me. I'm now going to let this move go through, also assuming they're not going to go for a Brave Bird. They do just go for the Feather Dance, and now I'm going to make it to a Rock Slide. We are double debuffed, which is unfortunate, but Rock Slide still does a lot of damage, and the opponent overfarms, allowing me to get to an Scizor, and the opponent's actually going to shield this up. I don't think that would have taken them out with the debuff, but I'm happy to grab both shields from the opponent, as well as get this Pidgeot extremely low already, and I'm now able to fully farm them down with bullet punches. And now they come in. I didn't see what they came in with there, but I'm going to go for a Night Slash into a Swampert that comes in. I now swap into my Scyther. They've got a Cresselia. We've got a 2 shield advantage, which is absolutely huge. I'm now going to go for a Night Slash. We don't get a boost this time around, but it doesn't really matter. I can let this move go through. Just going to be a Moonblast at worst, and now I'm going to go for another Night Slash, probably shield once, but I'm hoping I will just be able to fully Fury Cutter, farm down the Cresselia from this range, so I will put up a shield here. The opponent baits with a Grass Knot, which is unfortunate, but I don't think it matters too much. We do get the farm down, and now I can go for a return into the Swampert that comes back in, and return from this range takes out the Swampert, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent. Into the next battle, we see Trevenant in the lead. So once again, going to swap out into my Scyther here, and the opponent is staying in initially. Going to go for a Night Slash just before they make it to a Shadow Ball, making sure I get off the charge move first, so I force them to use a shield or let that move go through. I'm now going to shield. It is the Shadow Ball. The opponent swaps into Cobalion, and you can see I have got literally nothing that I can do up against Cobalion. Every single move is at least resisted, or in most cases double resisted, so yeah, this is not looking good. They do full send the Stone Edge. Of course, a Sacred Sword would be double resisted, so they did kind of have to commit to the the Stone Edge there. But now I can let this move go through. Just going to be a Sacred Sword, and honestly, I've only got double resisted charge moves to throw. Going to go for Rock Slide, as it is a much better move than the Scizor, but still, it does nothing to the Cobalion. So I'm going to let the Kleavor go down. I'm hoping that I commit one shield and then just fully bullet punch, farm them down. But this is going to be really rough. They do throw on alignment though, so that gets me a full bullet punch through for free. And we do get the farm down. But what have they got in the back? They've got Trevenant. This might be possible. They've not revealed their third Pokemon yet. We go for the Night Slash, and we are really hoping that a Night Slash will be enough damage to take them out from this range. But it barely doesn't take them out, and I think this is just going to be a Seed Bomb, but even so, it's going to be too much damage. They come in with a Scrafty, get the counter farm down, and I do lose that game. But GG's to that opponent there. Into the next battle, we see Cresselia in the lead. Once again, gonna say swap into my Scyther. The opponent responds with a Mandibuzz, trying to catch a potential Night Slash, but I held on to the energy. I go for the return. It doesn't do an awful lot of damage because Mandibuzz is incredibly bulky, but they're gonna go for an Aerial Ace. We do tank that as Aerial Ace is pretty rubbish. Now, I know I'm not gonna make it to another return before they get to Aerial Ace number 2, so I go for a Night Slash, and the opponent does end up using a shield. Now here, I might as well commit to the return. Otherwise, if I go for another Night Slash, they likely just let it go through and fully farm me down. But now we do at least have a shield advantage. Gonna come in with the Kleavor, let this first charge move go through. They go for the Foul Play as it is a much better move than the Aerial Ace. We can see there they did get a fast move through. They were lagging a bit, but I wasn't really sure if it was just visual or not, so I go for that Rock Slide, just get rid of the Mandibuzz, and the opponent comes in with an Armored Mewtwo. So they've got 2 pure Psychic types left remaining. I can go for a Night Slash into Cresselia, and the Mewtwo is going to have much stronger hitting charge moves against this Scizor, so I will let this first move go through onto my Shadow Scizor, and there's no point throwing just yet, as a Night Slash will not be enough damage to take them out. So instead, what I'm going to do is overfarm, make it to the back-to-back Night Slashes, and this is now in range where a Night Slash will take out the Cresselia. Gonna go for one Bullet Punch and throw another Night Slash into the Mewtwo. You always want to throw one fast move if you've got a 2-turn move up against a 4-turn move. And now I'm going to shield up the Rock Slide, go for another Night Slash. This will be grabbing the final shield from the opponent, and then I will be able to swap back into the Kleavor. We have the X-Scissor banked. This is Stab, and from this range, it will be enough damage to take out the Armored Mewtwo, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent. Into the next battle, we see Alolan Ninetales in the lead. Now this, I mean, it is a good matchup, but if they shield a Stone Edge, I don't even know if I'll make it to a second Stone Edge here, but we go for it, and we one-shot the Alolan Ninetales. I'm happy with that, so we'll definitely take it. They come in with Scrafty, and in this battle, I'm actually running Air Slash as the fast move. I started off initially with Air Slash, and it did help me a bit with the fighters that you've already seen me struggle against, but unfortunately it meant that it was too long to get to a return. And you can see here the opponent got to a Crunch and an Aqua Tail before I made it to the return to take out the Drapion, which is really unfortunate as it meant I had to use a shield. Now if the Scrafty does go for a bait here, I will be able to live this, and I've not revealed the second charge move yet, so I could be running Aerial Ace, but the opponent is gonna no shield the Night Slash, which is really unfortunate. And now here I don't think there's any point me throwing any charge moves here. The opponent does still have both their shields remaining, so instead I'm just going to shield in this matchup, deal as much Bullet Punch damage as possible. And am I going to be able to fast move farm them down here? It's going to be incredibly close. But let's see, we come back in with the Kleavor here, and the opponent barely makes it to a last second charge move. Do I have enough health to live one counter? No, I don't, and unfortunately the Scrafty does just fully farm down my entire team. But GG's to that opponent. Into the next battle, we see a Drapion in the lead, and this is another battle where I was running Air Slash on my Scyther and also Stone Edge on the Kleavor, as I thought it might be more useful, but honestly it was just a little bit better to run Rock Slide as it is much spammier. But here we go for the Stone Edge, and we make it to an X-Scissor, winning the CMP tie up against this Drapion, and we grab a shield from the opponent. And at this point I'm happy to let the Kleavor go down. If they've got a Fire type in the back, I'm gonna lose anyway, so it doesn't really matter if I keep the Kleavor alive or not. Instead I'll take a shield advantage, come in with my Scizor, get a nice energy advantage, and they come in with an Ampharos. So this is a bit tricky here as they do resist the Steel type damage, and as well they're going to be hitting for super effective damage up against my Scyther in the back. So I go for a Night Slash number 2. They let that go through as well, but I still have to shield in this matchup. Probably going to have to double shield, And yeah, I think I'm going to have to go for that double shield. I should be able to bullet punch farm them down here. But let's see. The opponent swaps into an Alolan Muck. And I am double resisting the poison jab damage here. But it's still going to chunk. I am very low already. We go for a nice Ash there. The opponent actually calls that it was a bait, which is really unfortunate. I'm now going to fully sacrifice the Scyther as they're running Sludge Wave. But now I've made it to the back-to-back Night Slashes. I really hope it KOs from this range. We get the final shield. Is this going to be enough damage to take them out? Yes, it is. And then one bullet punch takes out the Ampharos, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next battle, we see Galarian Stunfisk in the lead. Yeah, this is really, really bad here. But what I'm thinking is that, of course, the Scyther, even though a Rock Slide will be double super effective, the Mud Shots are triple resisted. So I might just stay in this matchup, hope that the opponent doesn't fully farm me down from this range, and then come in with my Scyther and commit 2 shields to take out the Stunfisk. But let's see, we go for X-Scissor number 2. The opponent is over farming, but I think they threw here. They could have gone for a full Mud Shot farm down. But they do waste their energy, and I'm really happy with that. And as well, we've managed to get this Galarian Stunfisk into the yellow health with just resisted moves. So that's actually quite nice for us. I'm going to shield up the Rock Slide here, and I will overfarm just a little bit, throwing just as they make it to another Rock Slide. But the opponent catches brilliantly onto their Pidgeot. Yeah, this is not looking too good for us. They still have both shields remaining. I'm going to go for a Night Sash before they can get off a potential Feather Dance or Brave Bird. Honestly, I don't care if they Brave Bird me because I will, well, then they'll lower their defense, but they do go for that Feather Dance, of course. I'm going to go for another Night Sash here, and this will grab the final shield from the opponent. The opponent will not be able to farm me down before I make it to another move here, so they go for a Feather Dance, taking me out, and I'm really hoping Night Sash will be enough damage to take out this Pidgeot from this range, but it doesn't take them out, and they make it to a Feather Dance. At this point, it's game over. There's nothing I can do. Now, a Night Slash will not be enough damage to take out this Galarian Stunfisk with the Fury Cutters, so there's no point in shielding here. Rock Slide takes out the Scyther, and I do unfortunately lose that game. But GG's to that opponent there. Into the next battle, we see Jellicent in the lead. Once again, going to save swap into my Scyther, as we can't really do an awful lot. A Surf would be super effective up against the Kleavor, but we do have Night Slash on both Pokemon in the back. We go for it here up against the Jellicent, and I'm going to commit a shield, hoping they go for a Shadow Ball, and they do full send the Shadow Ball, and now they swap into a shiny Shadow Charizard. I'm barely going to make it to a return. How much damage does this do? It nearly one-shots the Charizard, but they barely hang on there, which is so unfortunate. Dragon Claw doesn't take me out, but they get the farm down there. Oh, that was really unfortunate. I think one more Fury Cutter could have taken them out, maybe 2. But yeah, we do not win switch advantage. But I come in with my shiny Shadow Scizor. Gonna go for a Night Slash, and hopefully they just let it go. They do, and it takes out the Jellicent. They've got a Scrafty, 2 shielded Scrafty once again. Can I get my revenge this time? Gonna go for that Iron Head, and the opponent does use a shield there, which is unfortunate. But let's see, we go for an X-Scissor. I hope they let this move go through. I need them to let it go through, and they do let it go through. And now let's see, the opponent is going to go for a foul play. Can we make it to a last second X-Scissor? We get there, and the opponent throws on the CMP tie as well, which is huge for me. We got the final shield from the opponent. We can now let this move go through. Probably just going to be a power-up punch. It is the power-up punch, and now they do actually undercharge that. Good play by the opponent, but it doesn't matter. We've now received the energy for a Night Slash. It doesn't matter if they've got back-to-back moves. We can now go for a Night Slash, and even though it's double resisted from this range, it will be enough to take out the Scrafty, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent. Into the next battle, we see Kleavor into Cresselia. Once again, just going to save swap into my Scyther. Of course, Kleavor doesn't have the worst matchup, but we do bait out a Charizard, which is great because Charizard up against Scizor, especially with Fire Spin, is just an awful matchup. But here we land the return. It does so much damage. They go for a Dragon Claw. Can we make it to another Night Slash? We make it, and now we will be able to force a shield up against Charizard, which is absolutely insane. But unfortunately, we do still lose switch advantage. Gonna come in with the Kleavor here, and this is enough damage. No, it's not enough damage for a blast burn, so I do call that it is just the Dragon Claw, and I'm able to get the farm down. Gonna go for an X-Scissor straight away into Cresselia, and then swap into my Scizor, trying to catch a move, and I am able to catch a charge move here. The opponent goes for a Grass Knot, which is double resisted. Huge catch by me. The opponent then swaps, trying to catch a Night Slash onto their Guzzlord, but I do hold on to the energy. I now go for an Iron Head that does significant damage. I'm going to shield this up. They did farm to the crunch, probably going to bait with a Dragon Claw, but honestly, Dragon Claw would still do a lot of damage. I'm going to farm to the back-to-back Night Slashes, also throwing just as they make it to a second Dragon Claw. We grab the shield and we win the CMP tie with the next charge move. This Night Slash will take out the Guzzlord, and they come back in with the Cresselia. I might as well shield in this matchup. I'm going to be able to make it to a Night Slash, and this should KO from this range, but if it doesn't, we can just swap into the Kleavor, get one quick attack off, and take that game. So GG's to that opponent. Into the next battle, we see Defense Form Deoxys in the lead, and once again, we're just going to swap into our Purified Scyther, and the opponent's staying in. Of course, they can go for a Rock Slide, and that would probably one-shot us, so it does make sense to stay in. They also let the first charge move go through, as they know a Night Slash could potentially boost, and it would then deal more damage. But they're going to swap into a Trevenant, and now I should be able to grab that shield back from the opponent, as I will make it to back-to-back Night Slashes just before they make it to a Shadow Ball. So this here will grab a shield from the opponent. Unfortunately, no boost, but it doesn't really matter. The opponent overfarms just a small amount. They go for a Shadow Ball, taking out the Scyther, and I'm going to come back in with my Kleavor. I do wait out the switch clock here, and I'm going to be able to go for an X-Scissor, winning the CMP tie up against this Trevenant, and this will be enough to take out the Trevenant. They come back in with Deoxys, we overfarm, we throw on the CMP tie here, and this X-Scissor, I hope it takes them out, but it doesn't take them out there, and now this is unfortunate. I think I'm just going to let the Kleavor go down. Rockside takes me out. I come in with my shiny Shadow Scizor, and yet another Scrafty in the back. So seeing a lot of Scrafty here, they're going to go for a Power Punch straight away. Going to have to let this move go through, as the second one will do more damage. And now here I need to bait, and I also need to get a boost with the Night Slash. But we don't get the boost there. We do make it to an Iron Head, but this Iron Head will not be enough damage to take out the Scrafty, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But GG's to that opponent, and into the final battle of this video, we see Alolan Muck in the lead. They're running Poison Jab, so that's not so bad for us, as we are resisting the Poison type damage because of our Rock typing. We go for a Rock Slide, that does some decent damage up against the Muck, and the opponent's going to go for a charge move. They go for that Dark Pulse, that does quite a lot of damage. They come in with a Snorlax, we barely make it to a Rock Slide. This will do some nice chip damage before we swap into our Scyther. And this Snorlax should be able to make it to a charge move here, and they're probably going to make it to another body slam before I reach the return, and they barely get there, but I should be able to live this looking at my health, and we do just barely live that. We have the energy for the return. I don't expect the shield, so I'm going to go for it, and return takes out the Snorlax. They come back in with the Alolan Muck. I'm now going to come in with my shiny Shadow Scizor, waiting out the switch clock here, and the switch clock is nearly up, but unfortunately I'm not able to catch a move, so instead going to go for a Night Slash here, forcing the CMP tie, winning CMP, and getting a boost up against the Alolan Muck. Now expect an Acid Spray. It is the Acid Spray, but I'm going to be able to fully farm them down, so they swap into their Giratina Origin form. We go for a Night Slash, that does so much damage, and now I will be able to fully Bullet Punch, farm down the Giratina, take out the Alolan Muck, and take that game. So it turns out there was actually one final battle after this. I moved it around, it was a little bit after, so I'm recording this separately. But into this battle, we're going to lead into a Jellicent. We go for a Night Slash straight away into the Jellicent, and we grab a boost with our Purified Scyther. The opponent's going to go for a Surf, and then they swap into Clefable. Oh, we're going to be able to one-shot another Fairy type with the boost in return. We full send it here, and return grabs a shield, which is unfortunate. The opponent's over-farming massively. We do at least make it to a Night Slash, but if they're counting, they'll know it is not enough energy for another return, and they do correctly no-shield it. Although we did get this Clefable fairly low, considering that's only resisted fast moves and charge moves. We're now going to come in with our shiny Shadow Scizor. We will have to tank one Moonblast. That does a lot of damage, and now we go for the farm down, but they make it to another charge move. This should just be a Meter Mash, but I think it probably still would take us out or get us very, very low, which we can't really afford to do, so we do shield that up. We go for a Night Slash, Slash, grabbing a shield from the opponent. They come in with Haxorus. I don't know why I'm going for the Iron Head. They're obviously going to shield that, so I should have just saved some energy and gone for a Night Slash. We swap into Kleavor. They go for that Breaking Swipe, lowering my attack. I'm now going to go for a Rock Slide, and this is now not going to do enough damage to take them out, but it will put them into range where I can potentially farm them down. And if I can farm them down and come out with a Night Slash loaded, I might be able to win this game, but unfortunately I'm not able to do so, and we do simultaneously KO, but they did have a Pokemon left, so I do unfortunately lose that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, then please make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.